All right, welcome everyone to TAM Lab number 41. Today we're excited to have Joey Ware joining us. He's going to be going through some Horizon Day 2 operations, and we're excited to see what he's got. And that is all I have for slides. So at this point, I'm going to hand it over to Joey and let him take it away.
Thank you, Steve. All right, give it a second so this can screen across. Can you see my slide now?
Yes. Yeah, looks good.
All right, so a little about me. Also, in the description, you may have saw that Ryan Costello's name was on there. He was going to help present today. Got involved in a customer meeting right before, so cannot make it. But he's a great guy. He's part of like the customer success architect team. He's great. I'd really recommend, if you can, get a hold of somebody from that architect team to reach out to them, pick their brains on what stuff they've seen out in the field. Ryan's been all over the world, so he's a good friend of mine, lives close by. He helps out whenever I can, or whenever he can, whenever I need him, really, which is almost every month. So about me real quick. I have been now at VMware for just a little over 4 years. Started in 2015. It was great. I only started off with like 2 customers for the first couple months, and then boom, got 4, then boom, got 5, then boom, got 6. So TAM is a great position to be in right now. I love it. I love being an advocate for my customers. At one point, I had 7 altogether so far. Most I had at one time was 6, but there's some more in the pipeline. So definitely, if you're not a TAM, you are an SE or an AE or whatever, please reach out to your customers. We need to help our customers out and get a TAM involved. But every one of my accounts has used VDI of some sort, whether it be one of our competitors or one of our products. Only one hasn't, but they're asking about it. So definitely growing. I used to be a VMUG leader. I totally recommend getting involved. We're actually a Facebook vExpert page, and found out one of the guys asked a question that lives here in Oklahoma. It's like, hey man, we can get some of this going. Let's just join this group. Today I'm going to use my homelab. It's not a great speedy homelab, as you'll see, but it's running on 3 Intel NUCs. They are the i3s because I'm cheap and didn't feel like getting the i5 or i7. But using vSAN, and that's actually pretty good. So that's enough about me. Let's see. So the agenda. So somebody had put in a submission for day 2 operations of Horizon. I've heard that so many different ways. I even posted on Twitter just to kind of ask what that meant to you. And I got some responses: APIs, content, or image management. So with my customers, especially the one that's doing almost 8,000 concurrent users, day 2 for them is patching, is how to push this across. They have 2 data centers with multiple vCenters, kind of like a VX block scenario. So the biggest issue for them is when it comes time to push that new image across. Instant clones helped because they were on linked clones before, but it still doesn't, it's not speedy, as we'll go through, and I'll kind of explain why. One of the reasons I'm really excited about doing this is it actually put me into like the driver's seat of, if I was them, how would I want to do this? And thankfully with Horizon 7, there's this thing called PowerShell, and they got some scripts that you guys can use to help automate all this, and we'll go through all that. Okay, so just start off with basic scenario, upgrading agents. One of my customers actually had some issues with a image, and I couldn't help figure it out. So I said, hey, let's just put a ticket in real quick. Let's get someone way smarter than me in GSS to help resolve this issue. Going through it back and forth, and I go, well, you're using at volumes. You're also using UEM or DEM now. Did you uninstall all of those agents when you did the upgrade of VMware tools? I'm like, well, we just did the view agent. Well, best practice according to GSS is to uninstall all of them. Whether that's an everyday scenario or not, I kind of recommend it now. Like, hey, let's do all this and then go back before we have to call support right away. Especially if it's something that's leaning towards like the screen is not resizing right or something. So I'm just throwing this out there just to kind of help other customers, other TAMs. Hey, this is the kind of scenario you kind of have to do. It's not pretty, especially if you are using all the agents we have, but it's better to be safe than sorry.
Hey, Joey.
Yep.
What would be the symptoms if we didn't follow this advice? What would we expect to see?
Good question. So let's say you upgraded VMware tools, but you didn't upgrade or reinstall a View agent. Even if there's not a new version for the View agent, sometimes the tools may install, the VGA driver or a NIC or something, and it breaks the View agent. So best practice always for the View agent in VMware tools is uninstall the VMware tools, possibly reboot, uninstall View agent, possibly reboot, and then install the VMware tools, reboot, and then do the View agent, reboot, and then you should be safe at that point. In my home lab,
tools should always be first, right?
Yes, tools first. I'm saying uninstall tools first, then uninstall the agent, the View agent, and then reverse, go back, install the VMware tools, and go install the View agent. Yeah. If I said that wrong, I'm apologizing. In my head, I thought I said it right, but
no, you probably.
I am. It's probably me. It's got to be my accent.
I have dyslexia in my ears sometimes. So go ahead.
So then now if you throw in app volumes and the DEM agent, or even the VROPS agent, if you install those in your images, yeah, it becomes a kind of a headache for a customer, but it's best to be safe than sorry. So in this case of my customer with multiple data centers, multiple pods, before we went to, they were still like on 6, the content library wasn't big of a thing or even a thing at all at the time. So they were having to use a script to basically to copy their images, their master images across data centers. It wasn't ideal. For now, what everyone has been saying is, hey, if you have multiple vCenters, use the content library. I was actually trying to find a way to script that. Sadly, there's not a lot right now with it. Hopefully, there's some stuff coming on the way. I'm not great at messing around with APIs and trying to do that myself. So I may reach out to, like the William Lamb kind of people. I'd probably hit him up and get him done in 5 seconds. But the idea would be, patch your gold image, upload it as a template into the content library. You have that synced between the vCenters so that as soon as it's up there, maybe, a couple seconds, couple minutes, depending on your, the lag between the 2 data centers, you'll have another side, but you'll still have to deploy it as a VM and take another snapshot because snapshots are not retained this way. But it's still better than just kind of willy-nilly copying the VMDK from one data center to another yourself. I was trying to somehow do that in my home lab. I just don't have enough resources to build 2 different data centers yet. Now, yes. Hope my wife is not hearing this because she may see some Christmas presents coming my way. So now, where I'm going with this, so day 2 for my customers is definitely updating pools. Now, instant clones did help. It's kind of a little bit faster. It's not as instant as the name says. You still have to copy the snapshot. It makes the replica. It makes the parents, and then it goes out, right? It's still a lot faster once that's done, but you still got to do that process. So going through this, let me just go into my lab here. And even going through the catalog, creating a pool, it was roughly just updating my manual pool here. It took me 9 clicks. And when you come into an environment that, like I said, 8,000 concurrent users, they have like 12 different vCenters just because they want the redundancies. And that's a lot. That's a lot of time just to, push an image out. So
is there any VRA related things that can be used to even reduce the 9 clicks?
in the past, I even asked this the wording with Horizon Enterprise was that, hey, you got a license to use VRA with Horizon. Since VRA, I think 7 something, and then Horizon 7 something, that little jargon is gone. So I've asked, does that mean we can still use it or not, kind of deal? But what the script I'll show you here at the end, you could definitely put that in VRA and make this a lot easier.
Yeah, you can do it in PowerShell, but VRA would be
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, not native VRA, but if you do PowerShell through VRA, you can definitely do it. So now, building a new clone pool. So that same customer, when they have a new version of a piece of software that all their doctors and staff are using, they have to migrate everyone to one data center and then basically build new pools and delete the old pool. Everyone's forced to log off at a certain time of day or night. They log into the new pool, do the opposite on the other data center, and then load balance when it's done. They told me that is the biggest headache for them. I kind of went through the process just in one data center. I lost count of 30 clicks of just building a new instant clone pool. Because a lot of times you can't just go with the defaults. You have to make changes. So I kind of see where they're coming from. I don't think it really works that well if you're day 2, day 3, day 30, whatever. So I wish we had this in 6. I think there was some stuff out there, but once 7.02 or something like that came out, this helper module has really been a blessing for these customers. There's a little link. I'll kind of keep that up there so you guys can Google it or whatever. It only took me basically a day and a half to kind of play around with this to figure it out, and I don't script ever. So I definitely recommend, hey, tie it to vRealize Automation if you can, if you have it. If not, definitely put it out there so your ops team or somebody else who's doing this every month can make it easier for themselves. I remember my last job, I was the one that did the maintenance and everything. I was the usual first one there and the last one to leave because it just took so long to patch everything, re-push out new images and everything. So let me kind of just jump into this, skip that slide for right now. Let's find, there. You guys can see the PowerShell ISE window, right?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. That's actually not the one I really wanted, this one. So this is the helper module. If you're going to go through this, it is very detailed and very easy to find stuff. So I was like, all right, let's start off with, I want to create a new pool. I'm like, if you go through those 30 clicks that it took me, it's because look at all these parameters you got. Okay, you got instant clone. Okay, now you want to do, you have to have a pool name. You got to have a pool display name. All this information that you go through that it takes 30 clicks to do, it's all right here. I'm letting that sink in just a minute. I mean, this is a lot just for creating a new pool, right? Keep going. And here's some examples. I'm trying to eat up some time because I talk a little fast. So I went off right off the bat and just kind of did this. So this is my domain. This is my only connection server I have. And again, this is just my home lab, so I don't care if the names are out there. What we have to do is load the module. You should only have to load it once, so I keep it in there just so it's always there. Connect to your Horizon connection servers. You only need to connect to one if it's in a single pod. And then I connect in the vCenter. Now, why am I connecting to vCenter as well? Well, I'm going to create a snapshot, and then I'm going to push that snapshot out. So connect to both. Let's kind of go through. I'll actually just kick this off and make sure we're all good now. There's my manual pool. That matches up to here. Manual and my little jump box I have. So we'll kick this off and away we go. First thing it's going to ask for is my connection server, username and password. I was trying to figure a way to automate this without having to just put it out there in clear text or use an encrypted thing. I'll figure that out. The next one you don't see because that is kind of in my credential store is vCenter. Oh, I did update pool. Let's stop that one. New pool. Do it again. Read Joey. So I just kind of left it here. So right now I know I did connect my connection server, so it's telling me how many connections I have right now, and my highest so far is 2 because it's just my home lab. My parent name. I kind of put this in because you may have multiple parents. I only have one because I named it that. So I'm just going to copy that. You can just hard set it in there, and that's initially what I was doing. But if you ever change that parent name or whatever, I wanted to find a way. Most of my customers, they use standardization for the naming, -parent or whatever. Creating a snapshot. And of course I ran into an error. Why? We're going to troubleshoot something here. Snapshot worked. Today's snapshot, the time. This is why I don't mess with things right before I start.
Well, it wouldn't be a lab if we didn't have some kind of a error that we had to troubleshoot.
I'm going to take these off. This was biting me, the numbers, I think. If you go through the 30 clicks that it takes you to do, it'll tell you if you do those wrong. This way, if you don't, it just says like, no, sorry, it didn't work. That was biting me yesterday, so I fixed it. Cancel save. Connect to the connection server. My parent, 10 parent. Take another snapshot. And I believe that worked now. Yep. Okay. Part of this also is adding the entitlement. And that is what failed. Let's refresh this. We created the pool based on the date, the display name. Why did it not like the pool? Run that part again, see what happened. Oh, I don't know if it just ran too fast because the pool wasn't created yet. I might put like a trigger in there just to wait a little bit longer, but now it worked. So the 30 clicks that it took me before, let's say 25 now because I removed a couple settings, right, is done. One simple script did that if I didn't mess up my parameters.
Hey, Joey, real quick, we have a
Yep.
question from Mr. Tate saying, are the PowerShell components in the default PowerCLI install?
I do not believe they are. So I downloaded those off the GitHub, and then I just included that module and imported it. But there's a whole lot of modules out here that definitely work.
Can you
At one point,
can you put the GitHub link in the chat?
Sure. I can definitely do that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. There you go. So
Okay.
that just helped one scenario, right? And I'm going to have to change one thing in my script because that one's still going to clone. It may be almost done. So you see, it created that, it cloned it, cloned the snapshot, created the templates, created the replica, should be coming on here, already done. Yeah. Cool. So each one of these, usually one replica equals the snapshot, and then one of the parents, and then one template per host. Or the other way around, sorry. The parent per host, and then one template for the parent. And incident clones kind of runs off the memory of parent. So that's why we got one per host. Don't worry about my orphan. That was another issue I caused last night. So like I said in my scenario where this one customer has to basically delete or recreate a whole new pool, move everyone over to that new pool, delete the other one, and then switch data centers, this just saved them a time. They hated having to do the whole connect every connection server that they have per site, per pod, and do this. Let's let that finish real quick, and then we'll do the next one.
Hey, Joe, I have a question for you in the meantime.
Go for it.
Can you go back to vCenter real quick? I've never been much of a Horizon VDI guy, but my customer had a question the other day. They're using instant clones in the brand new Horizon environment, and they see all the instant clone components here in vCenter, right? The CP templates, the parents, the replicas, all that. And like you have on that parent there in the middle, there's a warning on it, and they don't like that. They get freaked out when they see a warning. Is there anything we can do about that? And I think I know the answer. But they keep coming back. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's because instant clone uses the memory off of that parent, right?
Yeah.
So the more users you get, and I think I can't remember the limit for how many sessions per parent. It may have to create another one on the same host. I do not remember offhand. There was a KB article that talked about that. Maybe I'll find it and I can send it out. But
so, hey guys, this is Will. There is a KB article that ignores that error.
Oh, great.
But it's the parent because it actually locks down the whole memory of that parent. That's why that silly warning's there. All it is a warning. I think there may be gotchas to disabling the error because then you may miss other high memory warnings. So it's one of those, you look one way or the other.
Right.
Definitely.
Well, cool. Yeah, if you can find that KB, I would love to see that.
Yeah, I have it bookmarked. For the love of me, it's on Slack. Hilco references it all the time. If you go to the Champions Horizon channel and just kind of search for it, I'll go there in a minute and try to blow it in the chat. But like the rest of us, we've got like a jillion bookmarks and trying to remember where it's at, even with the bookmark search built in the Chrome. What did I name it?
Yep.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, this is me just limiting my tabs because I usually have like 20 of them. So that is almost done. But so another script for them, removing the pool. All right, let's just kick this one off, and I'll see if I can get rid of that manual pool. Again, I just kind of default, set my standard parameters or whatever they call them. I was trying to do this. Was it Tate that asked that? Whenever I did a search and said, hey, just import anything that's VMware dot whatever module, I got like 2 or 3 for HCX that says you have to have PowerShell 6 or whatever. I was trying to figure out how to just get rid of that warning because I don't like it showing up red in my script. I was like, forget it. I'll just mess with that later. But that should work so you can import all the modules for anything VMware related. And just want to make sure what this one's doing. Yes, okay. Let's just run it. Again, just my home lab.
So this is removing the pool.
This will delete a pool, yeah. And it should come up and tell me, okay, here's a list of pools. If you just run this command, and like I said, I don't script very much, it gives you a whole bunch of jargon, but it doesn't give you the actual pool name. It gives you like the GUID for it. And I was like, okay, well, that's not going to help me because I don't know what the GUID is off the top of my head. So yeah, Google is my friend, and I found how to do that. So let's say I want to delete the manual one. I'm just going to copy and paste it because my typing skills with everyone watching over my shoulder. Deleted. Now we should start, and again, my home lab, run low and slow. You'll see it start powering off the VMs. There's only 1 or 2 in here. And if we go into either the new client, new admin portal, you should see it deleting. We'll go into this one, deleting. And in that scenario, it was what, 2 or 3 clicks to go through and kind of, if you just logged into there. I mean, it doesn't save a whole lot, but hey, if you can again, never have to open up a web browser to do your everyday tasks. Why not? I love it.
Yeah, I think the creating the pool or updating the pool would definitely be more time saver.
Yeah. Yes.
But I mean, if you're using
not.
some of those workflows via PowerShell, why not do them all, right?
Yep. And I can't update this one until this publishing is said published, and you know, it tells you exactly what state you're kind of in. But what the update pool is, again, does the exact same thing, but it now asks you, okay, which pool do you want to update? Right here. All right, I choose what pool I'm going to do, and then it'll take a snapshot of the parent right here, and then it'll push that new snapshot out. Now, does this help with the first problem I had of updating the agents? No. That's something you have to do with like SCM or whatever tool you have that does the Windows patching or Windows installs. I've had a customer that actually scripted that out as well. I may have to reach out and see if I can get a hold of his script and kind of see what he does there. But he was.
You can do it.
Actually went.
You can do a silent uninstall, install, update, whatever if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. His script actually would, because they had a folder for parents, go in and power on all the parents, and then it kicked off, Windows updates, and then it would kick off a reboot. It would kick off another, update to VMware Tools or whatever, and then take a snapshot. And then he would, at the time, I don't think he even knew we had this yet, where he could use the PowerShell to kick off the updating the clones and pools. So, again, just doing that alone for him saved him probably about 3 or 4 hours on maintenance windows. So I'm all about helping our customers. Let's see, I think that one should almost be done. Again, sorry guys, my lab is not very fast. Maybe in the future it will be. Let's refresh this.
Joey, do you have a place where you upload all these scripts, like a GitHub or maybe code.vmware.com, anything like that?
I would love to do that. GitHub seems to be the place, it seems like all the cool kids are doing, or the VMware code site. I was looking at that. Once I get done, I probably will. Maybe we can link it into later on.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking.
Any other questions?
I have one, and I don't expect you to be able to demonstrate it, but at least speak to it. My customer, and this seems universal across all our customers, is they're always struggling with the logon times. And I know we have the Logon Monitor, which used to be a fling, and it's now kind of just built in. You just got to update the registry settings within the parent VM, right?
Right.
And somebody just posted a blog maybe a month or two ago that took all the logs from Logon Monitor and they put it into Excel, and it put some nice graphs together and showed essentially, what was taking up so much time to log in. But yeah, if you could maybe give us any tips and tricks around, how to actually leverage logon monitoring to help kind of make your logins much faster, right?
So I'll tell you right off the bat, Carl Stallhood, he's a great documentation guy. He actually did this page is over upgrading to 7.10. I was kind of hoping he would have something here talking about like the workflow of doing the agents, because even Support has given his website out to some of my customers when they open the SR. He doesn't have anything on the updating the agents except for, hey, you don't have to update the agents as fast with 7.0 or 7.x, but it's obviously best practice too. But here it is, the logon monitoring. He tells you, the logs are stored in here, and there's a way to actually put it on a file share. And then it doesn't actually, the thing that I don't like about it, even with the VROPS thing here, is see, I don't think I have any sessions right now, so it's not going to help me. But like here, okay. So this was, it's not live now. It's kind of still kind of cache, but this was my jump box I was connected to. And the session breakdown tells you, okay, yeah, great. The profile took about 3.15 seconds. Shell took 0.15. Interactive was what took so long. What is that?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't know what that is. And this is always what is killing my customers. They get this down great. The profile, the shell, but you know, what is going on in interactive at this point? And I don't know.
That's interesting because my customer deals with the shell load time and they don't understand what that is.
Really?
And that one, yeah. And maybe that's just, they just need to rebuild it from scratch. You know, Windows gets, I don't know, slow over time. Maybe it's time to rebuild it. But yeah, for me, that's the question mark.
Most of my customers have issues with boot. It's typically around they have too many app stacks being layered in, or too many GPOs being pulled down. And a lot of times it may also be they're pulling Active Directory GPOs or whatnot from a directory that's in Singapore. Versus.
Oh no! Come on now! That never happens.
It's not a best practice.
And also with VMFS 6 and the old version of, VMS 6 and instant clones had an issue with slow boots with Windows 10, 1803 and above. That can also throw an ugly thing. U3 should have fixed that if they've upgraded to 6.7 U3. It was an issue with Microsoft changing how they look at sectors, some crap like that.
Yeah. So, Steve, didn't answer your question, but yeah, I agree. The Logon Monitor should help us out. I don't have anything right to display to now what that looks like, though.
So, in your VROPS dashboard, I'm assuming that's the VROPS for Horizon, right? Do you need to have
Correct.
Logon Monitor turned on to see those metrics there, or is that just part of VROPS for Horizon?
The Logon monitoring is built into the view agent, so it should be on by default now. Let's see. Yeah, built into Horizon 7.1 and newer.
Yeah, it's built in, but I think you still need to update those registry keys for it to be enabled.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess you just have to have those turned on and you're in business. Cool.
Yeah. Let's post this out here just in case.
I also put in the chat the blog that I was talking about where it kind of pulled in all the Logon Monitor data and put it into Excel. And I thought that was kind of cool. I haven't done that yet with my customer, but made it look nice and visual just to see where, you know, what was taking so long.
Yeah. Yeah, Chris Hildebrand, I actually know him. He's up in Kansas City area. He's a great guy. I was looking at his the other day.
Cool.
I wish I could show the update one, but it is still. Oh wait, did it finish? Let's see. Tell me you're published. It's still pushing. Yeah. So this is what I would consider a day 2 for my customers. Just how to automate things. We have not had a great way of doing that before 7. Whatever. So I'm glad to see this out there. So I kind of looked through the names. Actually, I did email Praveen. Say, hey, I'm an idiot. How do I do this? Yeah. So I'm using vSAN, right? And it just says use vSAN. I was like, well, I'm an idiot. I don't know. What am I doing? And was it vSAN equals true or vSAN true? I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Please ignore this email. I figured it out.
Sounds like you have more fun than I do in scripting.
I want to get better though, so I'm like, I have to do this. So I was kind of glad that Ryan, couldn't jump on because he would figure all this out in like 2 seconds. It made my brain work a little bit. And also there's so much stuff in here. I'm trying to think what one of the ones I had to look up. Yeah.
That second link is broken, by the way.
Ooh. Which one is it? The Chris Hillebrand or the
Yeah, Chris Hillebrand.
Oh, I got it to load.
Okay, maybe it's me. Never mind.
He's probably blocking you.
Yeah.
All right, let's just try it one more time. Still posting. Gosh darn it. Sorry, guys. I wish my lab was a little bit faster. Oh, no, I got this. Ignore this, guys. I had Vic installed at one point, and I broke it. So it's constantly trying to deploy the plugin. Ignore.
I got a question for you, Joey. Totally outside of scripting, but like as a common day two operation sort of thing, I get questions from customers that say, okay, we've got this new Horizon environment, it's working as expected. We have this one user complaining that it's slow, right? I'm sure nobody's ever heard that before, right? But what would be your workflow as far as where would you even start troubleshooting that, right? What's your like go-to, like let's check all these things first and just kind of troubleshooting one-on-one as it relates to a slow user or something like that?
All right, I'm gonna chime in on that.
Go for
it. If it's one user, first thing is task manager, because theoretically it's not the pool. You don't know what app it is. If I can look at task manager or at least the help desk tool for that one user to make sure it's just not a Java app or something that's causing that user problems. That's just me.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And I mean, I'm taking it like at the super high level. You get a ticket, all it says is VDI slow. And what does that mean? That could be, is this one particular application slow? Is it what, you don't even know, right? And you only have the one ticket for one user. So I guess it's a super vague question. And I guess that's what I was hoping for. Like, what would you start with? So task manager on that user's desktop. Yeah.
I mean, and if they don't tell you like one information, like what pool they're in, hopefully you can find out. The actual new admin kind of, let's see if it'll even pull it up since I don't have any sessions active right now, but.
Yeah, if you can figure out what cluster they're in or what the name of their VM is, you can go look at that in vCenter at least or in VROPS.
Yeah. I'm glad these metrics are in here now because before there was nothing, but you have to look for the user and then go that way. VROPS may be another tool. If you have the V4H, you can kind of see what's going on with it. You can actually see the host, what, kind of deal. For my customers, the biggest issue they had was like, hey, it's running slow, and you find out, oh, it's loading the app, right? Then you got to go, was it actually slow because you didn't see the icon on the desktop? What was going on? Then it could be app volumes. It wasn't, fast enough to put the icon on the desktop. Just stuff like that. I mean, for us, they will say, hey, it's slow because they used to have a physical desktop before VDI, and then they're just not happy that it just doesn't think for them or whatever. So yeah, you have to kind of play doctor with these customers sometimes, and hopefully you get them where they're in a happy state. Let's see if that's done. Any other questions? Good. Published. Let's just kick off this other script and then should be it. So in most use cases, customer just needs to do the Windows patching and then push the new image out. It's not like a big scenario where they just need to delete the whole clone or the whole pool and start a new one. So the start HB pool, schedule push. Well, in this scenario, I'm going to force log off any users. You could actually go through, and it's kind of like why I like using the PowerShell ISE here, is that as soon as you start typing it out, it'll actually give you, watch it now, it probably won't, but since these are all in there, force log off or wait for log off. So This was my friend last night trying to figure out how to do these all correctly. So let's just kick this one off. Yeah, didn't make any changes to it. Which pool I want to do? The one I just created. And I don't know what kind of standardization most of your customers are doing. Just in my home lab, I just put like the date the pool was initially created. They don't see that. What they see is, this is the display name, right? This is the name that cannot be the same as other pools. And then the parent, I didn't kick that one off where it actually tells me what parents are out there. That's in-parent. So that worked. It pushed the image out, and since I told it to schedule it right away, it's starting doing it. So if we go back into vCenter, we see that snapshot was created, a clone of that snapshot, and now it's going to go back through the process of creating the instant clones. And if we go into here, publishing again. So normally to do this just in the old client, see if I can do it while it's already doing it. There's nowhere off the top tab, right? No way to do it. So you actually have to kind of click into it, wait for it to refresh because it's Flash, push image out, and then schedule, click through, choose your parent, everything. So the script just saved me maybe 10 clicks, right? Not too bad. And you could, for what I would recommend for my customer that has a lot of pools, is maybe create one script per pool so that they just kind of have everything hard set so they don't have to type anything in. Maybe that's just one way to help speed them up. So that's what I got for day 2, guys. What would you consider some day 2 operations for you and your customers? Kind of like some feedback on that.
I would say updating applications.
Yeah.
App volumes.
I don't know if there's any scripting yet for app volumes. We'll have to definitely figure that out. But I agree, both of those. That's the bane of some of their existences. All the applications they have to handle. Yeah,
it becomes, unfortunately, I think it becomes one of those things where it's easier to just make an image with everything than figure out all of these pieces.
Definitely.
Joey, I got a question.
Any other question? Go. Shoot.
And this is kind of totally unrelated, but as you were in the old, the other GUI there, the Flash-based one, I see thin apps there. Are you doing a lot of thin app applications nowadays? Is anybody on the phone seeing anything like that? Or is it just those really odd one-off applications where it kind of needs to be sandboxed that you still use those?
This customer that I have that has like 8,000 concurrent sessions, they have a mixture of thin apps. They were trying app volumes, trying to make them happy, kind of make some things going on that way. They still have RDSH with Citrix, trying to move that to Horizon apps instead, or just straight up RDSH only. For them, they just kind of let the team, the desktop team, what fits best for the application. Not everything can be thin apps. Not everything can be, app volume. So they let them decide.
Yeah. In fact, Robert put a comment in the chat here. He says he's seen it with apps that have weird Java version requirements, which is what I've seen as well. Like that sandbox where you've got, or IE. I've seen that as well. A specific version of IE.
Yep.
I'm just curious if folks are still seeing a lot of that out there.
That's the number one reason I've seen thin app is just because of Java.
Yeah, Java is a major one. I mean, I'm back in the day creating packaged apps that are using versions of Java that have lots of vulnerabilities just because the business can't get off the application.
Any other questions?
Can you show us your lab a little bit more? So you said you've got, is it 3 NUCs?
So right now I have 3 NUCs, and that's kind of my management. These 3 right here.
Uh-huh.
Was trying to play with Pi-hole. It kind of messed my wife up on some websites that she went to, like the news websites, because there are just tons of ads. So I need to kind of try to play with that some more. I was messing with VIDM, or Horizon Access as we call it now. The 1903, you actually have to have a Windows connector. So I'm at the point of where I got those deployed and started setting it up. But
yeah, I'm fighting. I'm fighting with connector and the certs and all that stuff right now.
That was my problem. That's where I kind of stopped at. I didn't have a cert, but I was told you can kind of work around that. VROPS, that was actually broke this morning, so I got that fixed. I had like a power outage, and the ups cannot handle everything. And right now, I had to move my home lab, and I also have a Dell T610, I think, 620. What is it? Don't tell me. This is really just because I wanted to play with FreeNAS, some Photon. So I wanted this just to be dedicated to that. And that's actually, Photon is like some of my, Plex server, stuff like that is all running on, all container based. But yeah, all this is running in my garage right now, which in Oklahoma, it's about 30 to 40 degrees outside, so it's okay.
That's why it's going so slow. It's cold.
Looks like you got a lot of memory. Looks like you got a lot of spare memory in that box.
Only because there's nobody on the Plex server right now. I need to bump it up. It's only got like, thanks. It's only got 32 gig, and yeah, I'm almost out.
Hey, I should have done this before, but I just went through a major home lab upgrade, and I've got a C61 with 4 sleds, 48 gig on each sled, that I'll give somebody if you want it. If you're looking to kind of upgrade your home lab. It'll run 6.5. I had 6.5 on it.
How loud is it?
I changed the fan, so it's not very loud at all.
Okay.
Yeah. I would post that in one of our social channels and give everyone the opportunity.
or the home lab Slack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I posted up on Reddit and nobody took me up on it. So
I'm
getting ready to head to the junkyard here pretty quick.
Is that plus shipping?
Oh no, you got to pay shipping.
I also have 2 of those in my garage, but there's nothing in them, so it's just there's no drives, and I think they only can run 6.5, which this 610 or whatever it is cannot run 6.7. I thought about playing, or 710 cannot. I thought about trying to do that BIOS hack, and I was like, forget that. I'll just use it for what I need it to. But yeah, Sean O'Dell kind of gave me some of his home lab stuff because he's all cloudy, and I appreciate it. I'm kind of glad I got my home lab kickoff. My wife wasn't, because it's so loud in the garage, but that's why it's in the garage.
It's a heater.
Yeah. So the Nooks were nice. They sat on my desk in our bedroom, and because I've got 5 kids, I got moved to the bedroom. So you couldn't hear those Nooks. They were pretty darn quiet. I think you can hear maybe the drive spinning since it's not all SSDs, but that was it. But once I got this big boy here, I was like, nope, it's got to go in the garage. So
Very
the
cool.
push takes just as much time as building a clone or pushing out a pool, because essentially you're deleting all those linked clones, you're creating those parents and the templates and replicas, so it takes just as much time as it does the other way. But I appreciate you guys asking questions and chiming in. I was afraid that I wouldn't have enough banter going, so I was going to make Steve do a song and dance for us.
Yeah, I appreciate everyone chiming in, so I didn't have to do that. But no, this has been good, and I assumed it was going to kind of go off on tangents like it did, which is exactly what we want. So we got about 3 minutes left. Anyone else got any comments, questions, anything you're doing with your customers that maybe would be interesting to talk about as well? All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining. Thanks so much, Joey, for presenting. This has been very valuable, so I appreciate it.